Hello, hello. It's Fabienne. I'm so happy to be here with you today. This is a kind of like ask me anything about closing the sale. I want you to bring me your closing of the sale challenges. I want you to tell me what's not working. I want you to bring me any issues or questions that you have. I am here to be of service to you. I know that this is a topic that is incredibly frustrating for I don't know. I think everybody. And I am here to help you and to love you up in the process. And I want you to know that the closing of the sale is a learnable, teachable skill. There's nothing wrong with you if you have not gotten it yet. It just hasn't been a priority. No one ever taught you how to do it the authentic way. Hi, Chris. Nice to have you here. Thanks for coming on. And most people just have no idea what they're doing, and maybe you too. And it was like that for me too. And don't worry about it. We're gonna fix it. So not a big deal. I am so delighted to be able to answer your questions today. So to answer your question, just like I want to hear whatever's coming up for you. I have this thing that I talk about with our Bold Heart business members, and it's the level 3 share. Okay, so I'm going to explain it to you now. The level 1 conversation is, hi, Michelle, great to have you here. Hi, Sherry, welcome. So I want to invite you to go level 3 with me today, and to not try to put up your walls of I already know this and I don't struggle with this at all. I am here to invite you to go deep with me. So level 1 conversation that I share with my students is like the acquaintance share, or the yacht club share. It's like, how are you? Good. How are you? And level 2 is like where you talk about, most of topics that people feel comfortable with, oh, what's Timmy doing for, school these days, and how's business? Great. Business is great. But you're not really talking to them about the top 5% that's going really well and the bottom 5% that's going really well. And that's level 3 sharing. Level 3 sharing, which I hope is what's going to happen on this live today, is where you bring me your level 3 questions, right? Level 3 is what I call the go there share. And the go there share is where you say, well, since you're asking, Fabienne, this is what I'm really struggling with when it comes to closing of the sale. This is what happens to me. Frankly, I'm a little embarrassed. I wouldn't normally say this because I don't want people to judge me for not having it right. But I invite you to give me your level 3 sharing questions. Okay, today I am here to support you. I'm opening up my ribcage. I'm giving you my heart. I am here to champion you and to answer all your questions. So in the chat, I'm going to look for your questions. Hi, Deirdre. Oh, happy birthday, my friend. Mwah. So happy that you are here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Deirdre. Happy birthday to you. Everybody send Deirdre some hearts here. So great to have you here on your birthday. Hi, Bobby. Great to have you here as well. So here's the deal. We had some questions that came in about the Boldly Closing the Sale program. I can answer those questions. I'll answer those questions today. I know some of you are thinking about doing it, but in the meantime, oh yay, hearts! Oh, in the meantime, please give me your questions about closing the sale, or please just say I'm so frustrated when blah blah blah, and I'm happy to help today. I have been pretty masterfully closing the sale in the most authentic way for 18 years. And I just feel like too many people struggle with it. So I'm here. You get to ask me anything about that. Okay, Michelle, I'm so glad you're putting a question. Like, you're the first one. You're setting the tone. Okay. All right, Michelle. No, I hope I can answer these. That would be funny if I couldn't, right? But then I would tell you if I don't have experience with that. I'll do my best. Okay. Michelle says, my close rate is 53%, which is way too low. But so first of all, don't judge yourself, Michelle. Okay. 53%. There's some people who would love that. They're at like 0.02%. But what I'm most struggling with is, I close the sale thinking everything is fine, and then the client backs out. I feel like I am missing a link to the client somewhere in the process. Okay, so glad you brought this up. This happens to a lot of people, and and if you like the question, by the way, just send Michelle some hearts, and in the chat, just say, "Oh my God, great question. Let's interact. We're a community, and we're here to support each other." So give her some props for her question. Okay, that used to happen to me too, Michelle. And what I think happens is a combination of issues. The first one is that you concede the sale at the beginning of the sale by saying something like, and just, let's talk today about making a decision to change things for the better, and I can help you do that. But the whole let's talk today thing, and again, there's no pressure. But one of the things that happens is that, and I mentioned this, I'm not sure if you saw the webinar, the Boldly Close the Sale webinar, but I listed some reasons as to why people don't close the sale. And this comes up in 2 or 3 of the reasons. Number one, most people try to squish everything, all the things that they have to do during a closing of the sale conversation, in that one call. And so in that one call, it's almost impossible to cover everything, to hear about their situation, to hear what they want to have happen, to answer all their questions, all their objections, describe your programs or products and services, then get them to commit, and then get the commit. It's like you're trying to squish everything in one place, Michelle, and that would take 2 or 3 hours. And most people mentally give you 1 hour at most for an in-person or on the phone closing of the sale conversation. So one of the things that I'm talking about in the Boldly Close the Sale program, it's imperative that you answer their questions and all of their objections ahead of time. There's a whole process for getting them pre-closed, right? So module 1 is about having them self-select themselves first as your ideal client, through what you do with your marketing. In fact, it's how you speak in your marketing about your clients that makes them say, "Oh my God, like, how do you know me so well?" And then they start qualifying themselves, which is a really, really cool thing. And then in the actual warming up process before the closing of the sale call, you handle a lot of the stuff that you would normally do in the call, okay? So that you don't actually have to sell on the call. You have them do a lot of pre-work. And in the pre-work, they begin closing themselves, which means that by the time they show up to the call or the in-person, whatever it is, they are somewhat pre-sold. You don't have to do selling on the actual call, and you have so much more time. You're checking out each other's energy. You're answering any final questions. You still go through this whole process that I shared in the webinar, and that's in the program as well. Like, there's a whole script to follow, but you have more time. And what's good about having more time on the call, because you've done all this pre-work with them, or they've done the pre-work, is that you can actually get a verbal commitment and a financial commitment on the call, right? This is everything I described. And so what happens is, if you can get what you're probably doing now, Michelle, I'm guessing, is that you're probably getting a verbal commitment if they commit at all on the call. But then, because there isn't a financial commitment, they walk away, and then it's what we call the law of diminishing intent. Because they're not, I don't want to say on the hook, because I don't like that term, but because they haven't fully committed to themselves and to you, there's still a chance to back out. And so what we're opting for, and it doesn't work every time, is a one call close. And I want to show you this process for getting the commitment on the call, right? And a huge part of it is the self-selection process that happens with your marketing when they recognize themselves as being your ideal client and that you're the one to help them. And then you have them do a bunch of pre-work and you answer all their questions ahead of time. So by the time you show up on the call, it's done. You get the commitment verbally. You get the financial commitment, whatever that looks like, deposit pay in full. Happens a lot of the time, sometimes it doesn't happen because they do sometimes need to still talk to somebody, but the majority of the time when you do this, you'll take your closing of the sale ratio from 53% to much higher than that because of that law of diminishing intent. The law of diminishing intent states that the longer the time between which they make a decision and actually start, the higher the likelihood that it won't happen. I hope that was helpful. If you liked it, send me some hearts or something, and I'm happy to answer some more questions. So thank you for your great question, Michelle. And Chris Wiley. Okay, I have a person that I adore, and she has a very high Selpata. She was a very high Selpata director. Obviously, they closed, and I've shared product with her. I would like to recruit her, but I am nervous about being intelligent and a great leader. Chris, I would love, you're asking for advice. It's not a question about closing the sale. Is this a question about closing the sale? I'm going to try to understand your question. They closed and I shared product with her. I would like to recruit her, but I'm nervous about being intelligent and a great leader. Chris, can I ask you a favor? Would you write me your specific question? What are you looking for as it relates to closing the sale, or how can I best help you? Do you mind retyping your question in a different way? Thank you so much. I'd be happy to help. Super happy to help. Martina, I have many people say yes, but yes, I am interested, but I have no time now, or I have no money at the moment, or. So it looks. Okay, call me again. So I call again, and I am good in calling twice, but I give mostly up and do not call a third time. So thank you for your great question, Martina. This totally has to do, I'm going to tie it into the answer to Michelle's question as well. So with the right closing of the sale process, as I mentioned with Michelle, it's really important that we address all of their objections ahead of time. So for me, I have every single objection that I've ever been given with a very smart answer that I usually would give in person, and I have them do all of that pre-work ahead of time. So when they come to the call, every single objection around not having the money or not having the time is actually addressed. I'll give you one example. One of the things that you can do when people say they don't have money, there's a couple things that you can do. The first one is to actually help them find the money. I have, on many a sales conversation, taken off my sales hat and put on my coaching hat and said, okay, let's find the money together. Because what's crazy is I've noticed this in just having thousands of closing the sale conversations with people, that it's like this knee-jerk reaction that says, I don't have the money. But then they turn around and they go on vacation, or they buy like this huge electronic or something. The money is there. It's just a finding it kind of issue. So I take off my sales hat, I put on my coaching hat, let's find the money together. That's one way to do it. And then once we found the money, we put the sales hat back on and say, okay, shall we do this? And but there's there's an opportunity cost that you must share with them of the delaying. People say, well, I want to start later. And my answer with love is always, why unnecessarily delay the results that you want now? Why unnecessarily delay the results you want now? There is a risk in having them work with you, but there's a greater risk in continuing to do things the way that they've been doing them. And so if you can point out the opportunity cost, if you can show them how not doing something about their situation is actually worse than the risk of trying to work with you, there's a big thing there, right? That'll really help you. I hope that's helpful, Martina. Mwah. I love these questions. Take a sip of water. I'm going to take a sip of water too. All right, Maria. Oh, thank you for little hugs and hearts and thumbs ups. I'm a Leo, so anytime you give me validation, I feel good. I give you more value. The more hearts you send me, the more value I'm here to give. That's how it works with me, but at least I know myself. All right, Maria says, I am a person that needs some time to think about things before I make a decision, and I don't want to push my clients into saying yes on the spot, but I also don't want to walk away without closing the sale. What can I do about this? Okay, really good question. So I had somebody on my enrollment team because, we have this Bold Heart Business and we have this enrollment team. And the person on my enrollment team for a couple of years was somebody who had to really think about something for several days and deliberate and things like that. And she would allow everybody several days to deliberate. But what I told her, let's call her Jane. I said, Jane, not everybody is wired like you. And there are some people, I am usually a person who makes a decision like that. I trust my gut. I'm willing to take a risk. Most of the time, I make really good choices. So Maria, you have to remember that there are people like me on the planet who, if you give us too many days to think about it, we're off onto the next bright, shiny object. And so I want to honor how you're wired. You need a few days to think about it, but not everybody needs it. And if you don't take a stand for them and lovingly invite them to work with you on the same day, on that same call, you're probably losing them. Okay? So this is a chance for you to honor how you're wired, but also understand that not everybody is wired like you. And you're actually doing them a disservice if you don't close them on the spot, because then they'll move on and they won't get the great value that you're providing. Okay? I hope that helps. Linda, I sell face-to-face in the one-to-one meetings. I used to do that. I used to go to cafes and sell one-to-one. I actually like it even better than on the phone, but I use Zoom now. So when I get to the part where I ask if they would like to attend my training seminar, they ask me to send them information. What? I'm right there. Oops, it just went up. Hold on. What? I'm right there. They can ask me anything they want from me directly. What am I not doing? I think that what's happening, Linda, is that when somebody says, send me information, there's one of two things happening. The first one is they're not interested because they feel sold to, even though that's probably not your intention. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So a lot of this closing of the sale program is about the subtleties of how to say things so that it is received as not a direct confrontational ask, but it's more of a letting them sell themselves. So it's probably that they feel it's very direct. Two, either they're not interested or they feel it's very direct, and it's a deflection method. If anybody's ever, what do you call them? The telemarketers call you and they're asking you and they're very pushy. Typically, I have said in the past, why don't you send me something? But also, it's that sometimes it's not clear enough and they want to see it on paper. So one of the things that you can do is to say, I'd be happy to send you something, What can I answer here? And just get them engaged. Just know that that is a deflection method, which puts a wedge between you and that person. The other thing I want you to ask yourself, Linda, is that person an ideal client? Is that person an ideal customer? And one of the very first things we do in the Boldly Close the Sale program, and I hope you'll join me or you or anybody who's spiritually contracted to learn this from me, is that when you're working with your ideal client, they are so much more likely to work with you, obviously, but this is not something that most people think about. They think about widening the net as opposed to narrowing the net. I want you to narrow the net so that you're talking to fewer tire kickers. Now, what I would love to know, Linda, is the person who says that to you, like, yes, please send me something. Are they, if you're asking yourself, are they an ideal client? Because if that's the case, they probably wouldn't ask you that. Okay? Thank you for your question. I hope it helped. Let's say, I hope I say your name right. Jaya Jill. Please forgive me if I didn't say it right. I know what it's like to have a name that people mess up all the time. Oh, I get Fabriana. I get Fabian. I get it all. Fabine. I love the coaching hat versus the sales hat concept. So here's the thing. You don't want to be a shark on the closing of the sale conversation. Like, you're here to help. I don't know if you watched the Boldly Close the Sale webinar, but the whole idea is that you can be somebody who is of service. And if part of being of service is to take that sales hat off and just like cool it and put on the coaching hat and be like, let's find the money. Let's roll up our sleeves. There's got to be money someplace, right? It could be, I've said to people in the past, hey, there are such things as 0% credit card offers. I'm not saying you have to say that or that here I am rolling up my sleeves right now. But in the past, I have said to people, listen, what I've done is go to Google and type in 0% credit card APR offer, 0% APR credit card offer, and I get credit card thing. I put the program on it, knowing that I have 12 months at 0% interest to pay for it. I know I'm going to hustle to get results and pay off that credit card thing right away. And then that program was at no interest for me and stuff like that. So you can help people like that, do that. Some people do that if they want to work with me, they do that. And I say, but you have to pay the things on time or they rack up from 0% to 15 or 20%, right? But you got to be personally responsible. You can help them find the money in what do you need to close another client? Do you have an Aunt Betty who believes in you and who wants to blah, blah, blah. You help them find the money. There's always money in people's lives. And sometimes it's just a permission. I know this sounds crazy, but sometimes it's you can give somebody permission to invest in themselves by working with you. I find that I've had to say that to somebody. They said to me, it's almost, Fabienne, like I need permission to work with you. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, well, you have my permission. You have my permission. You don't need my permission. Just give yourself permission to do this program, right? Just love yourself enough to get your needs met. And you can help that. You can help your clients do that by putting the coaching hat on. Oh, good, Martina. I'm glad you're in the program. I can't wait to start with you. We start on Monday. So you get your first module on Monday. You probably already got your intro module. And for those of you, if you're thinking about it, today is Wednesday. You have until tomorrow, Thursday, to sign up at, I'm going to give you the link, boldlyclosethesaleprogram.com. And you want to do that. If you haven't signed up yet, you want to do that before tomorrow, Thursday at midnight, because the special pricing and some of the bonuses go away tomorrow at midnight. It's like a 7-day window. So I don't know if you're thinking about it, you got 24 hours. I mean, why pay retail? I always like to get a bargain and some extra things thrown in. So congratulations, Martina. High five, girlfriend. Okay, Queen Shioma. I hope I said it right. Shioma? I don't know, but just know I'm supporting you. So weird. I just thought of you, and there you are live right now. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you're here with me. I'm also fast in buying. Yes, buying things, Maria. So you and me both, Martina, right? Okay, Deirdre. I am running my own e-com network marketing business through Facebook. I'm trying to build my team, but at a loss as to how I find people who want to work with me under me. I'm my own worst critic, but I am trying to be a strong leader by leading by example. Managing people is one of the, if not the hardest things to do well. What are the nuggets that you can use to attract like-minded people? I'll be happy to answer the question. We're keeping most of the questions, if you don't mind, to closing of the sale, right? One topic, but I'll be happy to answer this because I teach this in my leverage program. Year-long program is how to hire and manage people. So I don't talk to anybody without, whether it's a hire or someone in my year-long programs, without having them do some assessments that has me know exactly, and I use this in the hiring process and I teach this. I want to know how they're wired before I hire them. So 2 different positions require people who are wired totally differently. There are some people who like to start like new things and be improvisational and things like that. And that's good for one role in your company. And then another role could be like process-oriented systems, cross the T's and dot the I's. And that person cannot be wired like this one to do a good job here. So you have to, I recommend, the reason most of my team members now are going on 4 years, 5 years, etc., is that we give them assessments before we hire them, and we recognize whether they're more like this or more like this. And I will never hire somebody who's not wired for the position. Assessments are key. Strength Finders is a good one. Colby is another. DISC is another. There's lots of really good ones out there, but I would never hire anybody without assessments. I want the right person in the right seat for the right role. Hope that helps. Hi, Annette. Hi, Annette. I have a good knowledge of my product and I believe in it with all my heart. I have the desire to succeed, but seem to freeze and stall to ask. How can I overcome this obstacle? Oh, Annette, I know what that's like. You believe in what you're doing, but there is like you stop when it comes to asking. It's a couple of different things. In the program, we're going to look at your wealth consciousness. And your wealth consciousness is what you think and feel about money and the value that you bring. And I believe that it's like a thermostat, right? There's a thermostat in this room to control the heat and to control the coolness. And your mindset, your wealth consciousness, how you feel about money and your worth, like the worth of your product, is directly, it's like a thermometer. If the thermometer is set at 72 degrees, it will automatically kick in or on or off to keep it at 72. And it's the same thing with your wealth consciousness, which is, so we need to upgrade your mindset, my sweet friend. It happens to all of us. I was there too. I don't know if you know, but there was a point at which I was struggling in my business just to get it to 60,000 a year and then to 100,000 a year. And I never thought I would get it to 7 figures, the $1 million mark. But I kept working on my wealth consciousness and my mindset, and then to multiple 7 figures. And it always starts right here. which is why I'm gifting in the program. I'm gifting you a ticket to my 3-day mindset retreat so we can work on your mindset and your wealth consciousness. Unless you work on that, you will freeze, because there will be an incongruence between, how do I say this? Your actions are driven by your subconscious beliefs. So, Annette, you probably, like most people, have a subconscious belief that selling is bad, asking for the money is bad, and just money. For a lot of people, money is bad. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that society has been doing this to you. If you agree and you feel that something in the past has kept you around this, just send me some hearts or some thumbs up and stuff like that. It's okay. No one will know that it's you sending the thumbs up. But if this comes up for you, it's important, as part of the closing of the sale conversation, that we lift all of those false beliefs around money and upgrade your wealth consciousness. That is crucial. I don't believe that you can overcome. You can do all the right marketing and all the right sales, but I don't believe that you can overcome any obstacle around closing the sale without working on your mindset. People ask me all the time. In fact, this was one of the questions that was sent in a few times in this past week since I did the webinar. People said, what is the mindset retreat? I'm going to give you like a super cliff notes. It is the event, the 3-day event that is about wealth consciousness. It's about your mindset. It's about taking whatever your results and raising that thermometer up for the money that you will allow in your life, totally tied in with the closing of the sale process, right? If you have bad feelings, bad beliefs around money, you will repel it through your actions, right? And so I've been doing this event for 10 years. I've taken, I don't know, thousands and thousands and thousands of people through it, because at each time there's about, and we've had, the first one we probably had 100 people, and most times it's around 300 to 400 people who come from all over the world. As far away as Australia and New Zealand, they come from everywhere to upgrade their mindset with me. People will pay thousands of dollars to spend 3 days with me to upgrade their wealth consciousness. I mean, it pays for itself, in like weeks, people make it back because they have the new mindset. But day one is about dreaming a bigger dream and really allowing yourself to break away from the shackles of small thinking. I'm not saying you have small thinking, but everybody can have bigger thinking. And so I teach you about wealth consciousness. I teach you about really how to manifest any money that you want in your life. And then day 2 is about looking at all the subconscious fears, beliefs, judgments, rules that you have, self-sabotaging behaviors that are preventing you from taking action on the opportunities that are in your life. Day 2 is incredibly powerful. It's where a lot of the action happens. And then day 3 is once you've dreamed a bigger dream and you have cleared a lot of the gunk and sludge, we've eliminated, neutralized a lot of the fears, a lot of the beliefs that in the past had held you back. Day 3 is about taking big action with unwavering faith. I teach you how to have faith. I teach you how to jump knowing that you have a parachute. The Mindset Retreat has transformed thousands of people's lives. That is the event at which I turn a lot of people into 7-figure business owners. Or if they're at 5 figures, I bring them to 6 figures. This is why I'm gifting you that, Annette and whoever else joins this program. Like I said, there are people who will be at the Mindset Retreat who will have paid thousands of dollars to be there, and you will get it for free. Enjoy. That's so for you, it's a mindset thing. No big deal. Just fix it. That's all. Okay. Jane Morgan Zobel, what is your take on cold calling? Bad, good, bad, ugly, necessary, or outdated? So here's the thing. I have a client of mine, Kate, who has a whole business around cold calling C-suite executives, and she helps with sales teams, and she's amazing at doing cold calling. Cold calling is not for me. It will never be something that I do, despite the fact that I respect that some people do it. It's just not how I work. For many years, my company was called Client Attraction because I wanted to pull people towards me, because I've been on the sales side of cold calling. That's what I used to do when I was selling ad space. And I'm telling you, it's not me. It is not me. And if it's what you're doing, bless you. I bow down to you. I don't know how you do it. But for me, it's too much rejection. I like, and this is what the Boldly Close the Sale program is. It comes in 3 blocks, right? All the modules start. There's no modules. You've got the warm-up block, and this is like warming up the lead so that they reach out to you. I don't like cold calling, right? Then about what happens in the actual, so warming up the lead and have them sell themselves even before they talk to you, partially sell themselves. And then the second block is about what to do on the actual closing of the sale conversation. And then the third block is about the double close and what you do to keep the client if they signed up, what to do if they didn't sign up, how to keep them engaged and eventually signing up, all with authenticity, integrity, and love. So if you're asking me this question, Jane, about cold calling, it's not my wheelhouse. I'm doing absolutely everything in my power to give you all the tools that you need so that you never have to cold call again. You're welcome. I just can't handle the rejection. I just can't. I'm not strong enough for that. I'm a strong woman. I'm really bold, but I can't handle it. The rejection. If you agree with me that you want people to call you and you want them to close themselves, send me some hearts so I know that you're like me. Okay, Jaya. I am enrolled in the Close the Sale program. A high five! And you watched the Fastest Path to Cash program. So for those of you who don't know, one of the bonuses to the Close the Sale program that I just launched, if you're just arriving and you want to find out more about it, you can go to boldlyclosethesaleprogram.com, boldlyclosethesaleprogram.com. So one of the bonuses is that I can teach you how to close the sale, but if you have no appointments on your calendar, it's going to be hard to get some clients. So I included a program that is not available for sale, has never been available for sale anywhere else. It's part of my other year-long program, and it's called The Fastest Path to Cash. And it shows you, out of all of the hundreds of things that you could be doing in marketing, the 4 that work, just 4 things. If it's like the least amount of effort for the greatest impact. That's how I do everything in my life. And so Jaya, forgive me, I'll get it right. She says, I watched your Fastest Path to Cash, but I have so much anxiety around that closing the sale. Do you have ideas to assist with the anxiety? My business is very new and I've not had a closing the sale meeting yet. Okay, so the anxiety around the closing of the sale. Well, I want you to start thinking about the closing of the sale conversation as you're not closing the sale and you're not asking for money. I want you to imagine that person has cancer, for example. And I want you to imagine that you have the cure for cancer. And if a friend or a stranger told you that they just found out they have cancer, would you have anxiety about telling them that you have the cure? Because you see, with your business is the cure to somebody's problem. I want you all to think about this. Last night at 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody was tossing and turning in the middle of the night. They have a problem that you can solve, okay? But because of just normal life, they either don't know about you. That's the marketing piece, right? So that's the fastest path to cash, all that marketing good stuff. or they haven't closed themselves, they haven't been a client of yours yet. But if they have cancer and they don't do something about it, things could take a turn for the worst. And so I believe that it is our moral and divine obligation to, with authenticity, integrity, and love, bring them on as a client if they're spiritually contracted to work with us. And if you don't understand what that means, I just feel like I'm a spiritual person. I feel like the right people are supposed to come in, and if they feel it in their gut, and if they can get past the excuses, maybe that's you. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I really want this program, right? It's my job to help get them into working with me. I really believe that. And I also know sometimes people, I'll do like these half-day events, and people come up to me and say, I'm not sure this is for me. And I just can tell by their energy. I'm like, it's not for you right now. Don't worry about it. It's just not for you. You're not, the program is not a fit for you. But if it is a fit for them, I believe that it's my obligation to help them become a client in the program. And so for you, Jaya, Jill, I want you to switch how you think of the closing of the sale conversation. It should not bring you anxiety. You are here to save the day. And yes, it requires that they pay you. Why? I'll explain why. If you give it away for free, one, there's no skin in the game and they won't do it. I want you all to think about how at some point or other you gave somebody a product for free or advice for free, and because they didn't pay for it, they didn't do it. And because they didn't do it, they didn't get results. I believe firmly that you should charge for what you do and get the money for it, and not have a sliding scale, and not have, these crazy discounts. Now, I have a discount for this. It's called an urgency discount. It's called an ethical bribe. Up until tomorrow, Thursday at midnight, you save some money and you get some bonuses, but I'm upfront about it. I'm upfront about why I do it. I want you to do the program, whatever it's going to take for you to say yes, because I know this program will change your life. I know this program will change your financial situation. I know this program will change how you and your family live your life. You'll have so much more money. It's amazing what happens when you have money. So it's okay to discount in that way. But you have to believe in what you do. You have to believe in it enough to charge money and to not have anxiety. Listen, I don't take it personally if somebody doesn't sign up. That's cool. In my mind, I hope this doesn't sound rude, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, they're making a mistake, right? Not everybody. Remember, not everybody is my ideal client, right? Not everybody is your ideal client. But it's like you can't want it more than they want it for themselves. So if somebody just doesn't do it, I'm like, okay, too bad. But for those that I can, I'm just going to say, come on, do this with me. You'll see you're a different person on the other side. So just remove the anxiety. Don't get attached to the outcome, but just show up and with conviction that it will help them. Okay? Thank you for sharing that with me. Wendy Stolberg Nanasi. Marketing is a current challenge of mine. I'm going to take a sip. Everybody take a sip of water. Wendy says, marketing is a current challenge of mine. In residential real estate sales in New York City, there's a great competition. I lived in Manhattan for 13 years, so I know all about that. I have no problem establishing connections, trust, and have many contacts who I am shy to reach out to. How do I create marketing materials in my brand to project to the world, to bring them to me while not being salesy? I also am recently experiencing challenges keeping potential customers engaged after they have expressed resistance or hesitation. I get easily dissuaded. How do you recommend I overcome this tendency? So this is more of a marketing issue, I think, than a sales issue. That being, well, no, because there is the piece about you not wanting to be salesy. I really like your question, Wendy. So number one, you have to, that whole piece about not, like, don't worry about, the outcome doesn't say anything about you, right? I don't like rejection, and nobody does. But it doesn't actually, if somebody rejects you, it doesn't say anything about you. It says something about them. So that's a writer downer right there. So how do I create marketing materials and my brand to project to the world, to bring them to me while not being salesy? It's everything that I described at the beginning of the call. In fact, that's module 1 of this program, is to create marketing materials that really speak to the person about who they are, what their issues tend to be, what do they want most. The thing you'll learn is that if you try to market to everybody, you will market to no one. Write this down, everybody. When I market to everybody, I market to no one. When I market to one, I appeal to many. It's the ironic thing. I remember this happened to me in my business when I first started with my first nutrition practice. And I just started to I was like, I don't have enough clients. I need to widen the net. And then in widening the net, my marketing materials got diluted. I'm like, crap, this isn't working. So finally, I just narrowed it back down. I also did this in my client attraction business. After a while, I was like, maybe I'll just open it up to do business coaching for more types of people. And that, it's like the phone stopped ringing because my marketing message was too wide. So I narrowed it down again to solo entrepreneurs who want more clients, and the phone started ringing again. So you've got to be super clear, Wendy, about your avatar or your muse. I want to show you how to do that. When you get clear about your muse, this is the type of person that's going to buy the kind of residential properties that, this is the kind of person I want to work with. If you're not targeting everybody but a particular person, you're going to do so much better with your marketing. It's ironic. The more you focus on one person, the more people you get. Hope that helps. Thank you, Barbie, for the thumbs up. Marietta. Thank you, Marietta. I'm so glad you're getting started in the program too. I can't wait for Monday. First module comes on Monday, everybody. Whoop, not too late. Thank you, Connie. I'm so glad you're here too. So glad you're a part of it. Let's see, Olivia. I've been working for a company for 6 months now, and it feels like all of the relationships I've been building via relationship marketing seem to get our company in the friend zone and don't result in sales. Relationships are good, very, very good, but it is your job to connect the dots between where they are now and where they want to be, okay? And sometimes if we're in a friend, friends don't want to make each other feel uncomfortable, but part of being in marketing and sales is so I'm a super positive person and I'm optimistic all the time. It's one of my strengths, actually, is that it's positivity. But I also recognize that if I let you be in your comfortable, in your comfortable space of what's not working, I am actually doing you a disservice. So part of my job in the beginning is to show you what's not working. Okay? It's not because I'm trying to market with negativity, but you know how sometimes people get really cushy in their not ideal situation? Especially when you're in a friendship, it's like, no, I just want to keep it really comfortable for them. What I invite you to do, Olivia, is to start having conversations about where they are and where they would like to be. Establish the gap. There's a gap analysis. In fact, that's part of the closing of the sales script, is a gap analysis. Okay. And unless you do that, you just kind of, it's enabling. I hope you don't mind me saying it because it sounds kind of harsh, but whenever we don't, it's kind of like when a friend is doing something that's not healthy for them, or they're in a relationship that's not good for them. By not helping them see what's going on, we're enabling them to stay in their negative situation. And so I think it's your obligation, if you will, your divine duty as a person who is offering a product or a service that is good for them. Okay. Not if it's not good for them, and not if they're not the right person, because that's completely out of integrity and I don't play that game. But if it is good for them, it's important to point out the gap. And then you'll move past friendship and into more enrollments or sales. Connie, you also think that you might have the wealth mindset issue? Yeah, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but you don't want to be in the same place in 1 year, right? So this is the thing. One of the things I want you to think about, both as perhaps you're thinking about this program, maybe you are, and either way, sales is an issue because you're here, right? So you should be thinking about this program, but also when you're working with your clients, is ask yourself the question, do I want to be in the exact same place 1 year from today? Would I be happy with my progress? And everybody loves progress. Would I be happy with my progress if exactly 1 year from today I was in the same place? If not, then we need to make a change. And it's not a, let's make a change later. It's, let's get outside of our comfort zone. Let's dig deep. If it's a money issue, let's find the money, right? 0% credit card, borrow, get a new client, hustle in the first month to apply everything that's in the program so you get results right away, right? If it's like we got to make a change. Otherwise, a year from today, you may be in the exact same place and kicking yourself. Like, that's annoying. I didn't progress as much as I wanted to, right? And I think, and I really respect what you said, been working on learning to love myself, finding it very key to so many things. I have a program, a personal growth and development program that I teach, and I talk about getting your needs met. And in a case like this, if you have a need around closing the sale, you got to get that need met. That is an act of self-love in action. Write this down. Getting your biggest needs met is self-love in action. So whatever your needs are around mindset, around closing the sale, around making more money, like, get the tools and resources that you need, whether it's this or something else, but get your needs met, okay? Because you are worth it. You are deserving of having a breakthrough around this. Yeah, Marietta, Mindset Retreat is awesome. Thank you. Oh, Bonnie, hi. Bonnie said, Mindset Retreat is a huge game changer. Yeah, there's tears at Mindset, but there's hugs and dancing and lots of friendships and big shifts. It is an awesome event. I think I'm looking for more. Oh my gosh, I said almost an hour. I have so much fun answering your questions. I did not foresee it. Okay, let's see. Let me find some questions. Helen, I'm so glad you like Fastest Path to Cash. Awesome. Yes, you are a helping person. That's how it works. Still have a day, Carol Keener, still have a day job. I know that best results from a class are when I can be on the live calls. I'm assuming, yes, of course you will get recordings without question. But how much do you think not being on the live calls will affect my results? So here's the deal, Carol. The modules are pre-recorded. They come to you every Monday, so those you don't have to worry about. The live calls, there are 3. And what I recommend for you is that perhaps you schedule a doctor's appointment, wink, wink, during those times. But even if you can't, what I've been told because I run weekly calls in some of my programs, my year-long programs, and people, sometimes they just show up and they're like, I don't have a question, but there's so much value here. I am here to listen to what everybody else is asking because I didn't even think about asking that. So don't worry about it if you get the recordings. If you can jump on, fantastic, but don't let this be a deal breaker for you. That is like the one small niggly thing that's keeping you from all of this abundance. I wouldn't worry about it. Jump on if you can, and if you can't, make sure to watch the recordings because there is a huge wealth of information there. Okay, great question. Let's see. My challenge both for myself and my clients is progressing. I do retirement planning and folks tend to not really want to find out where they stand and what they need to do. I need clients with less lack. So what you might need, Connie, is actually to go back. And like I mentioned, this is module 1 of the program, is like ideal client profile. Maybe you need to change the who. A lot of times we need to change the who we're targeting. I don't like the word target either, but the who is our ideal client, and then everything changes. But if it's a question of, folks not really want to find out where they stand, show them what's good about finding it out. Show them, tell them your story around this. A lot of times it's just me telling my story and people are like, that's me you're describing. Melody, my finances won't allow me to purchase your program until Monday. What does this program cost outside of your current offer? The program costs, and I can honor that, Melody, I totally can. You save $100 in the pay in full option if you sign up by tomorrow, Thursday. It's $9.97 after Thursday. Up until Thursday, tomorrow, it's $8.97 if you pay in full. And if you choose to do installments, I believe that the installments right now, and it's on the page, okay? So, and don't, if I make a mistake, would you please also have integrity and not say like, but Fabienne on the calls, like, rah, 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 rah. Like I've had people do that in the past. I'm like, I make mistakes too, I'm human. That being said, and I'm not saying that you would make that voice, Melody. But that being said, I think that the installments currently until Thursday are $167 a month for 6 months. Okay, so this week is a 12-week program, but we've taken the installments and stretched them out for 6 months. And we give you the mindset retreat in like, I don't know how many months that is, like 6 months. So you can stretch it out. And then after Thursday, if you buy on Monday, as you said, I think it would be $187 a month. But if you go to boldlyclosetheSaleprogram.com, whatever's on that page is the confirmation. I would love to have you in the program. Awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Lovely to be with your wife, Gloria, in Provence. Andrew says, Fabienne is amazing. Love her work. It's changed our life and business in so many ways. Thank you. Big hugs, Andrew. Big hugs. Marshawn, I'm so happy that you're here. Marshawn says, Fabienne is fabulous. I miss you. Thank you for your kind words. I have joined. Yay me, Connie, way to go. I'm so happy for you. So happy. Yep, Andrew, mic drop. Getting your biggest needs met is an act of self-love. How can we go from selling to serving when I close? The way to get from selling, I think you are asking a question, Andrew, but I'm going to take it as a question. This is the whole piece about the authenticity, integrity, and love, which are my 3 words for how I run everything in my business, as you know, because you're in my other program. Going from selling to serving when you're closing is about sinking into your heart. And it's not about accumulating and taking. It's about, how can I serve? There's this person in need of a solution that I have. How can I make it easy for them to do so? But I'm coming from the energy of my heart, as opposed to the energy of my head or the energy of my bank account. This is about coming from your heart. And I'll tell you this, one of the best things that ever happened to me in business is when I was having, this was many, many years ago, and I was having a channeling session with my intuitive healer. And we were working on some stuff. I don't even know what we were working on. And our call, like we took care of it really quickly because he was guiding my angels. And he said, well, what else do you have for us to work on? I'm like, I don't know. Like, he's like, well, what's going on with work? I said, oh, this afternoon I have a live stream. I'm launching this new program, blah, blah. This was years ago. This was a boot camp that I was doing. And I said, well, how can I, listen to my question, how can I get as many people on to this boot camp as possible? That was me coming from my taking place, right? Not my taking place, but my, let's get these people. And, you know, of course, we are business owners. We have to put a business hat on. But he said, well, your angels are telling you. Oh, I might cry if I tell you this. This changed everything for me. He said, I want you to love them. I want you to see like these legions of people, and I want you to love, even if you don't know what their faces look like, I want you to love them. And I just got it. I got it. And this is why now my business is all about love, is because I may not know you, okay? You just spent the last hour with me. I may not know you. I can't believe I'm crying. This looks terrible. These guys over here are looking at me like, what is she doing? But I love you. And I know that some people might think that that is inauthentic. Like, how can you love me? You don't even know me. But I feel like I know you because I've been you. I am you. We are the same. So a lot of the time where I can say, I know what you're feeling, and I love you. And people say, why do you sign off your emails so much love and I love you? And that's like, you don't, but it's true for me. And so, Andrew, if that was a question, how do you go from selling to serving when you close? It's just by sinking into your heart. And this part of the program is like how to get not just them, of course, part of the process of the closing of the sale that I teach is getting them from the prospect, from their head to their heart. But it's about you going from your head to your heart. If you're trying to get them into their heart, but you're operating from your head, disconnect, baby. Total disconnect. Ain't gonna work. And so when you're both hanging out in your heart, it's amazing what happens. It's such a beautiful process. Just so beautiful. That's why you can, I forget who it was. Was it Connie earlier, or somebody who said, I just feel anxiety. When you're coming from that place of being in your heart, you can't feel anxiety because you're not here to take anything. You're here to be of service and love. So that's my answer. And my tears. Let's see. I had intended to stay an hour here. I could stay a little longer, but I know some questions that came in about the program. They came in. I want to answer them. When does it end? When does it start? It starts on Monday. There's some pre-work, right? So module 0 is the module that you can get right away. So you sign up today, you get what I'll call the intro module, module 0. And it's all my tips about how to use any program, this one and any program that you have and that you ever become a part of in the future, how to get the best results. It's the YouTube. It's the YouTube video that I listen to all day long to help me stay super focused. It's how I organize my calendar when I'm doing a program like this. How do I organize all the paperwork, all of that? So that starts like the minute you sign up, you get your intro module. And then on Monday, you get module number 1. You don't have to watch it on Monday. You don't need to do the worksheets on Monday. I recommend that you pick one time, a recurring calendar, if you will, and a recurring appointment. If Wednesdays at 9 a.m. are good for you, if Sundays at 5 p.m. are good, you're going to set that up, all of that. So, yeah. Okay, yeah. So when does it end? Well, it's 12 weeks. You've got the implementation sessions. Oh, people asked about the implementation session. The implementation session is a 4-hour block it's a 4-hour video with me or my team. And I think you get 2 of those. And it's where we all log in to Zoom together. Like we all log in and we do our work together. So you're going to work on your pre-qualifying questions and your packet and your offers with me. And you're going to, like, everything that you need to do, you just come up on those implementation sessions and we do it together. So awesome. Who is Kiva? Who is Caitlin? Those questions have come in. Kiva is a marketing genius. She was actually a student of mine many, many years ago, and she stalked me in a bathroom. Like she practically tackled me in a bathroom one day. She's like, "You're Fabienne Fredrickson. You changed my life. You helped me make money when I was just a young mom, and I like everything you teach is amazing." And then years later, she reached out to me and she said, I want to help you with your marketing. I want to help teach marketing. And so she's been teaching my year-long programs with me for 3 years now. And she's amazing at selling. She's really good at helping you take people from conversation, like from a social media to a conversation about closing the sale authentically and things like that. Many, many other things. She's amazing at sales. Caitlin is on my enrollment team, and she has sold millions of dollars worth of products and services on the phone a year. Like in 1 year, she'll sell millions of dollars worth of products and services. And she's been working with me for years because she loves what we do at Bold Heart. She's like, I can't work with most people because they don't have integrity. I love you. I want to work with you. And so she reached out to me and said, I want to be at Bold Heart. And now she's not just working with me, but she's working on Deepak Chopra's enrollment, setting up his enrollment team. So these are people that are teaching this program with me. I'm bringing the best of the best. And it's not just me. You get like all my talent, all my gals. And I think that's what I can, I could just stay here with you. Like, we could just stay here. We probably have stuff to do. Anyway, go check out, please join me in this program. Go check out boldlyclosethesaleprogram.com. And I love you. I believe in you. I'm here championing you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I've had the loveliest time answering your questions, and thank you for all the hearts and the love. And I'm just sending you a great big hug. Okay. Bye now.